Okay, we're back. So the last thing we did was I was complaining that I have the image settings on like whatever in Rate Your Music and I can't see the fucking cover because there's sword fighting on it. Are you kidding me? Unless I'm missing something. I mean, again, this is one of the like what a great album cover, and you can't see it. I got enable image and display settings. Rate Your Music, yeah, get your shit together, okay? Get your shit together, please. All right, I'm embarrassing myself. I'm kidding. Anything else kind of going on? This Diction guy is like on every hip hop release, like saying some dumb shit. And sometimes he's okay, but like he'll again giving Liquid Swords anything less than a 4.5, just because you find it maybe a little repetitive or dry, is just blasphemy. I think. A few undeniable classics. Oh my god. Oh god, I can only be on Rate Your Music for like 5 minutes before I find something that makes you want to fucking throw my computer out of the window. So yeah, I mean, there you go. Okay, first metal album I think in the top 100, and probably one of the only ones. I can't think of anything else other than maybe Metallica or Slayer that would even crack a top 100 list. Um, I do love this album. I mean, I do like this album a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And losing Chuck was a big tragedy, a big loss for the death metal scene. They do a lot with this album. Um, it's got some very interesting lyrics. The playing is obviously just completely superb. I mean, from a technical standpoint. I can't think of any real flaws with this album. The only thing I can say is that me myself, I'm not really a metalhead. I do love black metal. I love crossover thrash. I actually don't really like thrash metal that much, but I love crossover thrash and like thrashcore and stuff. I love brutal death metal and gross death metal and stuff like that. But I'm not the biggest. I'm not a guy sitting around listening to like Merciful Fate or something, okay, or like what's another one, or like Devin Townsend Project. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying random shit. Um, but I've listened to a lot of death metal, okay, and this is like probably near, if not at, the absolute top of the pack, right? Top of the mountain. This might be the greatest, like, just pure metal release of all time, depending on kind of what your taste is and how much of a Metallica mark you are, Slayer or Rain and Blood mark you are. This might be the greatest metal release of all time. Favorite song on here, Empty Words is really good. Every song. I mean, look at this. Come on. This is just, the album's going to be really fire. Oh, shit. The album's going to be really fire when you see nothing but fours and above, nothing but bold. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's right. The guy who knows a lot. The real deal. The real freaking deal. Beautiful. Chuck was just a genius. Fucking riff composer. He was genius songwriting wise. Great solos. Big loss. Okay. I don't want to skip. I already know what album this is. God damn it. Yeah, Leonard Cohen, never been able to get into him. I don't even read poetry. I try to read like 150 pages a day or so. And I really don't read poetry. That's a big blind spot for me. I just don't. I prefer fiction or nonfiction. I don't read a lot of poetry. Now I do like I do like good lyrics, and of course Leonard Cohen is writing good lyrics. But at the end of the day, it's a dude who can barely sing, some old dude who can barely sing, a middle-aged man at this point already. I mean, look at that face. Come on. He's a good-looking guy, but he was already middle-aged at this point, I think. Just singing, about some shit. Just writing poems and singing it over like Spanish guitar. Don't give a shit, dude. Sorry. He's a good songwriter. Not a good songwriter, but a good, lyricist. But Leonard Cohen is a guy who I just feel suffocated when I listen to him, and not in a good way. Okay. But God rest his soul. I know people love him, so don't want to piss people off. Okay. Man, when was the last time I heard this freaking album, dude? Jesus Christ. I don't think this is better than Low End Theory at all. I don't see how people think this shit is better than Low End Theory. It's a really good album, but I genuinely don't understand how you can think this is better than Low End Theory. It's a great album, okay? It's a great album, but I just think Low End Theory does it just a little bit better, and it's a little bit more, I don't know, a little. I just like the beats better. I don't know. I like the beats are a little bit more organic, I think. I don't know. Not saying Midnight Marauders is not, but I don't know. And I just feel like I like Q-Tip's lyrics on that a little bit more. I don't know. But there's still great songs on here. The War Tour, 8 Million Stories, Suck a Nigga, uh, Midnight, Electric Relaxation, Oh My God. Oh my God, yes. Oh my God. That's Busta was kind of killing it on the hooks. Like, he was doing that shit like 30 years ago. Okay. You gotta give Busta some credit. I don't like Busta Rhymes, but he was kind of doing his thing back in the mid to late 90s. Okay. But I don't have much to say about this album. It's not like one that I get all emotional or attached to when I see the album cover and I, start giving you stories and stuff like that. It's a good album. It's a really good album. It's a great album. One of the best hip hop albums probably ever. But in my opinion, it does not connect with me like Low End Theory, because Low End Theory is just one of those albums that I have a lot of nostalgia for. Low End Theory is an album that caught me at a very special time in my life. And I remember, oh God, the first time I heard, We Got the Jazz or Jazz We've Got, and it was the video that's like spliced into Bugging Out. Oh my God. I mean, it just completely changed my life. Okay. And so to go from, just how amazingly creative and insane and beautiful Low End Theory is to just Midnight Marauders, which is a really good, really consistent, but not really a deep album, kind of prevents me from putting it above. So those are my thoughts there. Oh, hold on. Um, yeah, this album is like fucking outrageously good. Okay, Jimi Hendrix, bar none, is the greatest person to ever, in the words of Chris Jericho, touch an electric guitar. I don't want to hear it. Nobody comes close. I don't care if you're talking about it technically. I don't care if you look at it style wise. I don't care if you look at it innovation wise. I don't care if you look at it, how well did the solos and guitar playing blend into his songwriting. Nobody in the history of Western or Eastern popular music has ever and will ever touch this dude right here with the blowout kit or whatever that is, with the two British dudes next to him. This brother brought you soul, okay? And he brought you amazing guitar playing. Jimi Hendrix will always be the shit. Look, and when did he record this? 23rd of October, 1966, guys, is when he recorded Foxy Lady, Manic Depression, Red House, Can You See Me, Lover Confusion, I Don't Live Today, May This Be Love, Fire, Third Son from the Sun, Remember, Are You Experienced? Are you kidding me? Yeah. I mean, I get pissed off talking about it because people like to dick around and start to give you random names like, oh, well, what about Kim Dale or what about Eddie Van Halen? Oh God, the greatest guitarist of all time. What about Junior Kimbrough or somebody? Okay, no disrespect to any of the dudes I just mentioned because they're all amazing guitar players. But bro, look, Rolling Stone got it right. Okay, when they put Jimi Hendrix at number one, they got it right. I bow down to the throne of Rolling Stone, the tastemakers at Rolling Stone, 25 years ago when they made that list, because they got something right. Now, do I agree with Dwayne Allman at number two? I don't know. I mean, Dwayne Allman was outrageously good too, but I don't know if I think he's the second best guitar player, of all time. But they got it right. Okay, they got it right. They got it absolutely freaking right, because I mean, dude, and his voice is just awesome. Again, if I just saw a comment, some dude talking shit about his voice. Are you kidding me? Shut your woman down. Nobody comes close to Jimi Hendrix, dude. This dude was the shit, and he will always be the shit. And oh God, man, oh my God, I love Jimi Hendrix. Oh God, should I even? Hey, chat, tell me, chat. Should I even do this album right here? Should I even go into what I think about Late Registration? Should I do it, chat? I think I should do it. I think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna do it. Late Registration probably doesn't even crack a top 3 Kanye album for me. Okay, if I'm picking Kanye albums, I'm going number 1, College Dropout, number 2, Pablo, number 3, either Twisted Fantasy or 808s, or like half of the songs on Ye, which are like amazing, and the other half is complete shit. Okay, this album, even not when it came out, I mean, I was like 6 when this album came out, but listening to this album and listening to the hits on the radio and stuff, look, the singles, you're not going to touch the singles, okay? Touch the Sky, Gold Digger, Crack Music, Roses, Diamonds from Sierra Leone, Hey Mama, The singles on this album go really hard. Okay, I'm not taking that, and I'm not taking that away from this album. But this is Kanye. He really jumped from on College Dropout with Consequence and the other dude on Spaceship talking about how he's broke and oh, you disrespected me and I will be assaulting him, all that shit on a Spaceship. He was giving you some real deal struggle bars, and to jump from that to like just this pop rap shit that he's making on Late Registration, as good or as kind of clean and well produced as the production is, as kind of clever and creative the rapping is. I love that he got Paul Wall on a song. Like, yeah, and I do like Drive Slow. For all my Nashville people, there was a dude on the Nashville Sounds who like that was his walk up music for like years. I think it still is. Is Drive Slow, and it annoys the shit out of me because I really don't like that song. But I appreciate him getting my boy Paul Wall on a song. Paul Wall is awesome. But and look, and he's ahead of his time. Look, he got Game on a song. He brought Jamie back on Gold Digger. He got Lupe, and what was this? 04 he recorded this? 04, 05? That's pretty crazy to get Lupe, on a song. He brought Adam Levine in. But that's kind of the problem, okay? It's like we got Adam Levine on a song, and I'm going to give it over a 4. No, I'm sorry, but I'm not. This is too poppy and it's too clean. And I really appreciate what he did before and after this a lot more. So, for the 5 people who watch this, if you guys are Kanye stans or whatever, crucify me if you want. I really could give a shit because I love Kanye's music like everybody else, and I think he's hilarious. Even though he pisses me off a lot of the time, but this album does not crack a top 3 for me. I'm sorry, it does not crack a top 3. I'm not even going to talk about it. I can't stand 9 Inch Nails. We're not even going to talk about that shit. Okay, finally, another good album. Oh, God, and I see what the next album is up. Oh, no. Oh, God, the next album after Carrie and Lowell might have to be like a separate video. I don't know if I'll be able to do this without having a fucking aneurysm, without literally like having a brain bleed, while recording. Somebody's got to call the doctor, okay? Let's just get through Carrie and Lowell and... Oh my God. See, now I can't even talk about Carrie and Lowell. I can't even talk about this fucking awesome album that Sufjan did because I know what's coming next on this godforsaken top 100 list on Rate Your Music, or top 120. I know what's coming next. I'm pounding the table because I get so mad because I hate. Okay, I'm going to calm down. Man, okay, so this album takes me back a lot, okay? 31st of March, 2015. I was in not a great place in my life at this point, okay? This is going back to sophomore or junior year of high school. I was acting a damn fool up in that school. I had a lot of shit going on. I was in not a great headspace. Let me just put it like that to you. And this album did not immediately catch me, okay? Beforehand, what did I listen to from Sufjan? I heard Chicago, or Illinois, or whatever the hell it's called. Heard Michigan, heard Age of Ads, heard Seven Swans or whatever. Heard all that shit. Loved it all. I like Sufjan a lot. But this album was just a little too, at the time, was just a little too just grim. It was like reminding me of something in my own life that I didn't want to confront or think about. Which are these broken family dynamics and the lack of money and who am I as a person in contrast to my family, and how do you cope with the bad stuff that my family has done to me, and how do I cope with bad things I've done to my family, and all these other themes that kind of get worked into it. Alcoholism and drug abuse and not having any goddamn money. These are things I was thinking about at the time, okay? Or rather, I was not thinking about at the time. I didn't want to confront. And this album really puts it front and center. Sufjan's always been a very personal songwriter. But I really, really love what he does on this album. This is, this is his best album. I know Javelin's really good too. He's got one of the best discographies of the 21st century. He's better than Animal Collective at this point, I think, very easily. And I don't think Animal Collective even appears on this top 120. And they shouldn't. I mean, they've kind of been overrated. I love Anco, but they've kind of been overrated. But this album will be remembered for a long time, I think. I think if we talk about Sufjan Stevens, 50 years from now, we'll be talking about Carrie and Lowell, I think. I don't think we'll be talking about Age of Ads or Seven Swans, even though they're good albums. Seven Swans is the name, right? I'm not getting that wrong, right? Yeah, Seven Swans. Yeah, okay. Damn, Michigan came out in 03. Damn. Anyway, okay. Anyway, people will be talking about this particular album for a very, very long time. But it's not really a good entry point into Sufjan Stevens, I don't think. I would recommend this to somebody if they never heard Sufjan before, because he's not even like all that inaccessible at all. I mean, he's making pop music. It's just in folk music, but it's just like, it's just too depressing and too just like, blech, like you got to listen to Michigan or something first. Okay. Don't do it to yourself. Oh my God. I don't even want to scroll up, guys and girls. I don't even want to fucking scroll up. Hold on. Oh my God. It just hurts my eyes. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. It's hurting my soul, my eyes, my ears. I'm just gonna say a couple things about this album because oh God, 40,000 ratings. Like twice as many ratings as the Lonesome Crowded West. This fucking mallcore ass album. God, man. Oh, ew. All right, I'm gonna say a couple things, okay? I'm gonna say a couple of three things in the words of was it Paulie said it? This might be, well, I can't say it's the most overrated album ever, because I don't think outside of Rate Your Music, people are even really giving Black Country New Road credit outside of just like, yeah, they made a pretty good album or two. They're really good. They know how to play their instruments, and it's very lush and beautiful or whatever. Um, Other than that, I don't think like a lot of mainstream or even alternative publications are really giving them all that much credit, are they? I mean, I don't know what Pitchfork or like Sputnik Music or anybody gave them, but I'm not hearing about them in my circle. Let's just say that, okay? My circle is very small. It's just me, but I'm not hearing about this album. I go on the internet or I talk to people, even like real life. As surprising as that may be, that I have a real life. When I talk to people, I'd never hear them bring up Black Country New Road. When 10 years ago, all you would hear is people talking about, Julianne Barwick, whoever made the Tenth or whatever, and people talking about Lil B, and people talking about, a dive and shit like that. Or Parquet Courts. 5 years ago, it was nothing but Mac DeMarco and kind of drawing a blank on whoever else it would be. I don't hear really anybody talking about this album outside of certain internet circles. And when I say not talking about it, again, I mean that people are not just like raving about this album. They probably said it's a great album. They did a good job. They're precocious and they know how to play their instruments. Wonderful. Thank God. Because if the world was Rate Your Music, this would be the single most overrated music release of all time. And it's not really even close. 40,000 ratings, half of which are literal teenagers. No offense, but I remember when I was a teenager, and if I heard this shit, if I was a teenager now and I heard Anthem up there, I would really be questioning, like, am I even alive right now? Like, am I in like some type of like fucked up dream right now? Am I Squidward, like, falling through the zipper that the Flying Dutchman opened? Like, I'm in some type of like fucked up LSD like nightmare or something, that this is the album everybody's talking about. Black Midi, okay, whatever. At least they're like really good technically, and but they're doing that stupid, we're so random, too deep for you, whatever crap. Okay, that's annoying, and I can't say in the dude's voice. But Black Country New Road. Oh, Black Country New Road. You mean the band of posh, English suburbanites with rich parents who made the Slit ripoff album with the goofy font on the cover? Oh, damn. Oh, you talk about Black Country New Road. Oh, okay. I just laugh. I just cannot help but laugh when I think about how dumb this album is. Like, it's just so like, yeah, they can play their instruments. Yeah, they're writing cohesive songs. Great. There have been a million releases of people on just random band camps that nobody has seen or even been on the URL in 10 years that are able to write cohesive, interesting songs. The fact that there are people on Rate Your Music that will probably argue till they are blue in the face and like crying, if you were to meet these people in person, that Bread Song or The Place Where He Inserted the Blade is like the greatest, the greatest chamber rock or the greatest pop song of all time. This is arguably the greatest song, the defining musical moment of the 21st century. the defining post-COVID musical moment. I cannot believe this is happening. I can't. And they have the nerve to call this shit post-rock. You can call Kasabian post-rock, okay? Or whatever, or Caspian, whatever. Call them post-rock, okay? You can call Explosions in the Sky and Godspeed and all these crescendo core bands post-rock, okay? But how dare you lump in this mallcore, over-emotional, melodramatic, whatever ass posh fucking album with post-rock. Let's just open up. The fact this is, oh my God. Let me just pause for a second. We're going in a different direction here. Hold on. Let me just pause for a second. So, you mean to tell me, people have Rate Your Music, you mean to tell me, okay, so Lift Your Skinny Fist, whatever, like it shouldn't even be in a top 50, but okay, I get it. It's like the most famous one. Spiderland, okay, yeah, maybe a top 15 album of all time. Soundtrack for the Blind, amazing. Laughing Stock, amazing. You're putting Ants from Up There. Oh, crap, sorry. Oh my God. You're putting Ants from Up There. Okay, I don't like Sigur Rós, but you're putting it above Flood. You're putting it above, you can't see on the screen, but The Ascension or Lift to Experience or this Natural Snow Buildings album. Let's just go through the post-rock charts and see what else Black Country New Road is beating, okay? All right, we got F sharp, A sharp, okay, whatever. So Ants from Up There is beating To Be Kind. It's beating Spirit of Eden. It's beating The Seer. It's beating The Ascension. It's beating, oh my God, and they got it again. This 3.79 Slint ripoff bullshit. Are you kidding me? Okay, it's better than Hex. Yeah, okay, it's better than Hex, and it's better than the Newfound Interest in Connecticut and Correa and a Silver Mount Zion and Washing Machine and Tortoise and Bark Psychosis and City of Caterpillar and Toe, which is not even post-rock, by the way, but whatever. I'm sure it's better than Dirty Three, and I'm sure it's better than Longfin Killy. I'm sure it's better than Disco Inferno. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's better than Mogwai. Yeah. My message for people, again, of the 10 people who are going to watch this in the next year, for the 2 or 3 of you that actually like Black Country New Road, or rather, think this album is all that, okay? You are entitled to your opinion, okay? I'm not discounting your opinion. Listen to me when I say this. I'm not discounting your opinion. I'm not discounting the fact that what's his name? Isaac or whatever. Again, everybody loves to refer to these people in these bands by their first name, like they know them personally. It's so hilarious to me. The only people you can do that with are like bands that were around like 10 to 15 years before the present day. So if you want to say Paul, John, and George and Ringo, whatever. If you want to say Mike and Al and Brian and whoever else in the Beach Boys, go ahead. Okay. If you want to say Mick and Keith and the other Mick and Charlie and Bill Wyman, great. Okay. But Black Country New Road, and you're going to call them by their first name, like I'm supposed to know who the hell Isaac is? Who's Isaac? Isaac is a dude who like rode my bus, who like wore like Nike slides and like these like Clemson like Nike like socks, and he was obsessed. He was like always saying that Clemson was going to win the championship every year. That's the Isaac I know. I know Isaac Brock from Modest Mouse. I know Isaac from the fucking Bible or whatever. I don't know Isaac from Black Country New Road. Who's Isaac? Say his full name so I can look him up and be like, oh, it's the dude from that Black Country New Road band. Listen, I'm not discounting your opinion. I'm not discounting the fact that these guys and girls can play their instruments very well. They're very expensive instruments, and I'm sure that they had to work very hard to buy. I'm not discounting the fact that they probably put a lot of work into this album. I'm not discounting the fact that they probably really cared about the shit they were putting on this album. My problem is that this shit is boring and fake and inauthentic and full of itself. And I think that if you really want to be a serious music listener, you're entitled to whatever opinion you want to have, okay? If you think that Scaring the Hose is the greatest hip-hop album of all time, you're entitled to that opinion. It's a pretty good album. You're entitled to that opinion, okay? It's nowhere near the greatest album of all time, greatest hip-hop release of all time, or even probably of the 2010s and 2020s. But you're entitled to your opinion, okay? But can we at least talk about how how posh and how boring and how sappy and melodramatic and inauthentic this album is. Can we just talk about that for 2 seconds? I would love to have a conversation. This is no disrespect to the people who are in this band, to Isaac, whatever his name is, and everybody else in this band. This is no disrespect. You guys and girls are living the dream. You guys were in a very popular alternative band, and you got a bunch of people on the internet, raving about you. And you're getting tons of critical praise from, 40,000 people on an internet website that nobody had heard of, 5, 6 years ago. I wish I had your life, right? I wish I was in a cool band. Everybody wants to be a musician. My problem is with the music and the music alone. So I will just say one last time before I move on that, again, for the 10 people who watch this video, for the 2 or 3 of you who are like going to get literally like emotional and upset that I'm talking shit about your fucking stupid Airplane album in a bag. What does that even mean? Oh my God, and all their singles have the same like design. Oh my God, it's not about them. It's not about you. And it's not about the connection you have with the music. It's about the music, and the music is fucking boring and inauthentic and full of crap. That's my problem. Okay, whatever. I generally get, I'm not upset, but I generally kind of get a little irritated talking about, I don't know. It just drives me crazy. I'm just kind of a boomer, I guess. I'm 25, and I remember, 8, 10, 12, 15 years ago, how great the music coming out of internet and alternative scenes was. And just, goddamn, really all we have now is hip hop. I'm fine with that. I love Ken Carson and, Blade and everything, and Echo 2K and stuff like that. But nothing else is even good anymore, it seems like. Coming from the Gen Z zeitgeist, nothing is even good anymore. It all sucks. It's all fucking mediocre and boring and just washed out. When I'm sitting here genuinely saying that Pink fucking Pantherist might be the best, R&B, PB R&B or whatever the hell you want to call it, artist since Frank Ocean, I think that's crazy. I like Pink Pantherist, but that's crazy. That we're still waiting on a Frank album. That should tell you about the state of internet adjacent music in 2024. Okay. And again, it's not about the people making the music, and it's not about you. It's about the music. That's all I'm talking about. So please don't fucking bother me with this shit, okay? Because I don't take it personally. Okay, I'm talking to literally nobody, by the way. Hold on a second. Okay, Metallica. Never been able to get into Metallica outside of just the fact that they're making good thrash metal, I guess. Yeah, whatever. It's fine, I guess. Okay, this is my favorite hip hop album, everybody. Drum roll, please. This is my favorite hip hop album. This and Soul Food by Goody Mob. What would be a good third? I don't know. What would be a good third, favorite hip hop album? That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe the Infamous or something, or a Zero album. I don't know. Yeah. Outkast just has a very special place in my heart. I think Andre, well, technically speaking, he may not be the single greatest MC or whatever, the single greatest rapper ever, but I think Andre is just pound for pound the greatest, the best rapper I've ever heard. Just the shit that this guy was coming up with was outstanding, and to combine that with the emotional weight that it carried, right? Because who are you comparing Andre with? You're comparing it with Nas, which is whatever. Nobody listening to Illmatic outside of dudes who grew up in New York in the 90s, in 80s and 90s, are resonating emotionally with what Nas is saying on Illmatic. Okay. Nobody listening to Reasonable Doubt or The Blueprint or American Gangster is resonating with what Jay-Z is saying. Nobody listening to A Tribe Called Quest is resonating with what Q-Tip and Phife and their features are saying. But to listen to Outkast is to get 2 MCs who are at the top of it, to listen to Aquemini specifically, listen to this album. You're getting 2 MCs who are at the genuine peak of their powers, who are coming from such an interesting cultural vantage point from the South. Again, the South got something to say. So iconic. And as a guy from the South, you feel a little proud when you hear Andre say that. Fuck yeah, the South's got something to say. We're here. You know, we're broke and our infrastructure sucks and our colleges suck, and for the most part, and we have no money, and the cops are like crooked and all messed up, and our city governments are terrible, and the weather sucks. But hey, we're here, and we're gonna start making fucking incredible hip hop music, and they carried through on that promise. That's, I think, what I love about Outkast so much, and especially Andre, is that he is just as good as your Nas's and your I mean, who else did you even say? I mean, I can't even think of like other rappers who are not lyrical spiritual, who are as gifted as Andre and Nas. I mean, who else am I even thinking about here? Oh God, like who? Kendrick? Like I guess Kendrick, but even then, like I can't imagine that when To Pimp a Butterfly came out, I can't imagine that even I don't know, 80% of the people who heard To Pimp a Butterfly were not resonating emotionally with the album. They just liked the beats and they thought Kendrick was rapping good on it and it was catchy. Let's just be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. Outkast and Goody Mob, like when I tell you, it's got to be like 90% of people when Aquemini came out were like, damn, like they're saying some real shit on this record, okay? And I think that's what I love about Andre so much and about Outkast in general, is that they're able to combine the lyricism and the songwriting with an emotional and a philosophical, what's the word, gravitas or whatever. That's lost in a lot of other types of hip hop and a lot of other goat artists or goat MCs or whatever. They bring that to the table, and I'll always appreciate that. And again, I'm from the South, so I'm a mark for them. I mean, if you want to go back to ATLians, I mean, if you're from the South and you hear ATLians, the song, not just the album, but the song, it's just the hairs on your neck, on the back of your neck, stand up. You get goosebumps. It's just like you're only able to truly, I think, I'm going out on a limb here, but I think you're able to connect with that song and with that vibe and with that feeling in a very special way if you're from the South. And so that's why I love Outkast and Aquemini so much. So yeah, favorite hip hop album right here. Love that it's got such a high rating. I mean, this album is so goddamn good. We didn't even talk about the songs. We didn't even talk about Hold On, Be Strong, Return to the every song is amazing. Even Mamacita, which sucks, is like good. Like, Witch Doctor is kind of going in on that track, man. They got the girl rapping like she's going hard. Call it below average. It's an average song at worst. Like, come on, man. And I mean, we got is it Skewed on the Barbie that has like the single greatest opening, like, what would it be, a 4-bar or whatever, a 2-bar, in my opinion, when Andre says, what does it say? The common denominator, the nigga numerator, never know who to hate, but niggas cater to your ego. Are you kidding me? How do you come up with something so amazing? I don't know. I really don't know. I guess I'm saying the N-word because it's just, trying to be mature. Okay. I'm trying to be mature here. Try not to bring, nasty words into my vocabulary. I'm just kidding, by the way. Okay. I'm going kind of long. I think I'll try to go to like 45 minutes. I'll break these up into like 45-minute segments. Okay. Oh God. Okay. This fucking nightmare mess of an album, In Utero. Look, I love Nirvana like the next guy. Okay. Why am I seeing the ratings now? That's weird. These songs, like, dude, some of these songs just make me laugh, man. I don't know. It's not a bad album, but it's just a total mess. Again, Chris Ott, Shallow Rewards, he years ago when he did his Kurt Cobain video, or it might have just been on a live stream or something, I can't recall, but I mean, he talks about In Utero. In Utero is the album that everybody talks about as being like, this is the real Nirvana album. Like, Bleach is, kind of whatever, dated, but it's good, and kind of messy, but it's a good album. Nevermind is too poppy, but it's like the iconic thing that broke Nirvana and broke alternative rock into the mainstream. But In Utero, dude, In Utero is what you gotta listen to. In Utero is the shit. In Utero is a fucking messy nightmare of an album. What is even happening? When Serve the Servants comes on, I'm just sitting there with my headphones on or just sitting in the car, like, idling in traffic. Like, am I really going to listen to, like, the next fucking 40 minutes of this fucking album? I don't think so. Now, if you go song by song, it's really not that bad. I mean, Heart Shaped Box is, like, my favorite Nirvana song, okay? Rate Me is, like, whatever. Francis Farmer Will Have Her Revenge. I love the song title, but it's an okay song. But, you got Penny Royalty, which is crazy, and then All Apologies, which is good. but that's only like maybe 10 minutes of the album. The other 30 minutes is just like a slog to get through. Like it's just a total like I don't know. I don't know, you know. Lyrically, I think Kurt was kind of onto something here. I think Kurt was kind of actually accomplishing something interesting on In Utero, but the music just sucks. And like the music is just kind of whatever. Like it's just all over the place. It's a total mess. But Heart Shaped Box and All Apologies and Penny Royalty and Serve well no not Serve the Serpents. Those songs are really good. Those are good songs. Harry. Oh God. Okay, we're talking about blood on the tracks. Okay, we're talking about blood on the tracks a lot. Keep it together, bro. Just keep it together, dude. It's a good album. It's probably his best album. I mean, his singing's not horrible. Like his singing sucks always, but I mean, his singing is not horrible. The playing is good. You know, again, the playing ranges from like good to absolutely horrendous. It's good on Blood on the Tracks. It's got one of the, it's got a great name. You know, what a cool name for an album. Cool ass cover. You know, I love Simple Twist of Fate, Tangled Up in Blue. You're gonna make me lonesome. Buckets of Rain. There's some good songs on here. I'm not mad at this. You know, if I had to pick a Bob Dylan album, it would definitely be, Blood on the Track. So whatever. I'm not gonna go too hard on old Bobby. But of course, I mean, this is the most undeserving. Did he win a freaking Nobel Peace Prize or some shit? Like, what world are we living in? Whatever. Stop going on rants. Uh, I'm not even gonna bother talking about Nevermind. Just spoiler alert, but I will talk about Closer because it's been a while. I mean, oh shit, no. Okay. So the last albums we saw, we got Symbolic, Songs with Leonard Cohen, Midnight Marauders, Are You Experienced, blah blah blah. Yeah, The Downward Spiral. Oh my god, Ants from Up There, Clementine. So it's been a while since we've seen like a truly like, oh god, oh my god, oh dude, I don't want to talk about that album. I really, truly, I just get really emotional and angry because it's just so undeserving. Some of these albums I see are just like, are you kidding me? You know, this is not one of them. Okay, um, this is not one of them. I mean, if this is not like, wow, this shit does not break top 10 post punk. Wait, whoa. Oh, it's because they only show one from each artist. Okay, I got it. Okay, false alarm. Yeah, false alarm. Okay, false alarm. I almost had a literal panic attack. Okay. Um, I would call this probably, let's say it's tied with Unknown Pleasures and Marquee Moon is like the best post-punk album. And if you're noticing, I'm leaving out a certain English band with a certain frizzy-haired, makeup-wearing guy, guitar playing gentleman. I mean, there's a reason for that. Is I don't really care for that band. They've never really connected with me. I know that's a me problem, not a them problem, but yeah, I'm just speaking from personal experience here. I mean, is this like the darkest album ever? It might, it damn well might be. This might be the single darkest album ever recorded. I would put this against any depressive black metal album. I would put this against any screamo or emo violence album. I'd put this against any post rock or slowcore album. I'd put this against the bleakest hip hop you can find me. This might be the most depressing and dark album of all time. This album is all this album is a picture in the mind. It's like a live stream. How long is this album? Like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Okay. This is like 45 minutes in the mind of somebody who's about to kill himself. I hate to say it, because it's a tragedy, but that's what it is. This is 45 minutes in the mind of a suicidal person who is done with everything. Not much more to say. Not much more to say. But yeah, I mean, this is an 11 out of 10 album. Okay. Not talking about Nevermind. Oh, wow. Finally, some fucking jazz, dude. Finally, dude. Now, jazz is a genre that really gets the short end of the stick on regular music just because there's so many like Molgoths and like, posers and transients. People who are into music as an identity kind of thing, which is fine. Everybody does at one point, but there's never been this combination of music as my identity because I need an identity and also I'm gonna act like I'm God's gift to music criticism on the internet. We've never had that until now, and radio music is a perfect platform for that. And so, actually, interesting genres kind of get the short end of the stick, while every pop punk and hyper pop album is getting thousands of reviews and people saying it's like the greatest thing since sliced bread, or canned bread. If you're living in Tentacle Acres. Um, Yeah, this album is so sick, man. Fuck, this album is so good, dude. Um, what do I say? I mean, yeah. I mean, is this the top spiritual jazz album? Oh, okay. So they put okay, but it's top five. Yeah, they got the Don Cherry too. I like that. Um, what do I say about this album? I'll say that Pharoah Sanders. I know he passed away recently, which is a tragedy. He takes you to a place with that saxophone. There are moments on even Colors. Even on the 5 minutes you got with Colors, there are moments that he takes you to that are just like, this is from another planet. This truly is spiritual, like jazz. This guy is giving you an image of God with this music, with this album cover, with this corny ass. Man, they got this dude posing on an album cover, doing a friggin' whatever the hell it's called, doing some type of meditative pose or some shit. Come on, man. Sorry, I got an email. Yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty accessible too. I mean, it's definitely kind of chaotic and like all over the place sometimes, but this is very accessible. If you want to get into like avant-garde jazz, I see it right here, and I don't want to. It's like Machine Gun and shit on here. Okay, they got the Polish jazz album. They don't have Machine Gun though. Um, yeah, I mean that's about all I have to say. I mean, you should probably listen to this album if you want to get into avant-garde jazz. You should definitely listen to Karma by Pharoah Sanders. That's my plug, everybody. Okay. God damn it with the Bob Dylan. I'm not talking about Dylan anymore. Okay, finally, good fucking album. Thank you. Yeah, we're cutting this off at 45. I don't think I can go any longer. What is there to say about the Doors? Except that they had a really, 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 really good debut that was insanely ahead of its time. This shit, they recorded this August 24th to the 31st, 1966. Could you imagine being in the studio with them while they're recording The Crystal Ship or Soul Kitchen or Break On Through to the Other Side or The End? Are you kidding me? I would genuinely pay. What does it cost to go to the Super Bowl? Like for like a nosebleed, like $5,000 or something? I would pay maybe not $5,000, but I would pay like $2,000 or $3,000 to go in on the studio session for The End. That'd be amazing. And Backdoor Man, I mean, underrated. I mean, you want to talk about an underrated song? I mean, I've always really liked that song too. And when I was a kid, they always fascinated me because they didn't have a bass player. And I guess I'm like OCD or whatever, and like I just thought that every band needed to have a bass player. And I always thought every band needed to have like two guitar, like a rhythm and a lead guitarist too. Like I thought it was weird, if there was like a power trio, or if it was like a Sonic Youth or whatever thing when they have like three guitars or whatever. Weird aside, yeah. This album still holds up though. I gotta say, this album still holds up. So hypnotic. It just takes you to another place. On Ship of Fools, you really think that you're riding with fucking Jim and Ray and Robbie and what's his name, John is the other one, the drummer. You really think you're riding on that damn, some type of weird ass mystical Flying Dutchman ass shit, man? You think the Flying Dutchman from SpongeBob is gonna come out of nowhere and throw you in the keel hall or some shit, throw you in Davy Jones's locker? That's really how you feel riding along with the Doors on this crazy ass album. And that organ, look, I like organ in certain contexts, like in gospel or in prog or even like kind of like cool jazz, like what's his name, Jimmy Smith or whatever. Like I like organ in those contexts, but organ in some other contexts can be kind of annoying. But I think in the history of rock music, outside of Billy Preston, of course, nobody's ever touched an organ like Ray Manzarek. Not even the dude from frickin' Emerson, Lake and Palmer, whichever one it was that played the organ. God, I think he passed away, right? God rest his soul. Technically, he probably was better than Ray, but Ray's organ lines and his leads, this dude is doing everything on the goddamn organ. If you think about the Doors, I'm sorry, you don't remember the dude on the drums, who was a good drummer, and you don't remember Robbie Krieger either. You remember Ray Manzarek playing his ass off on that organ like there's no tomorrow because they didn't have a bassist, so he had to go double duty or whatever. So technically speaking, this album doesn't get a lot of credit for the technicality of the playing, and it's not like you're not listening to Lee Morgan or some shit or Mahavishnu Orchestra, but they're playing their ass off. And Jim is singing. Jim's voice sounds good. He's still like sexy and lean here. He's not all fat and bloated like when Morrison Hotel came out. And the lyrics are really like cool. He's doing his job. This guy's the ultimate rock frontman. Everybody in the history of rock music has been trying to do an impression of this guy. Not Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger can take a hike, okay? He can take a fucking long walk. And I like the Rolling Stones. They've been trying to do Jim Morrison, and they've been failing at doing Jim Morrison because nobody's going to touch Jim. So those are my thoughts. Okay, whatever the next album is the last album. I can't keep going. Station to Station. Okay. Station to Station. I have a complicated relationship with old David Bowie, okay? I do. We're going to close out here with some therapy. I have a complicated relationship with old David Bowie. For one thing, I really don't think he can sing that well. The whole yodeling shit he does gets kind of old after a while. But look, this dude really has some funk in his bones, okay? This dude has some soul. This dude can really give you... He and his team, and whoever he had kind of working with him on the albums, I mean, who's credited on this? Curious. Not a lot of people. And see, look, you got to give give Bowie some credit, okay? He's singing... He's writing the songs. He's playing all the keyboards. Apparently, he can play fucking saxophone too. I would love to see this dude rock out on a fucking saxophone. And he plays that like 12-string guitar or whatever. Station to Station is just, I mean, out of this world. Out of this world. That song alone, in my opinion, is why this album is in the top 100. Okay. I would say each half closes on its worst song. Yeah, I can see that. I don't have much to say about this particular album, okay? It puts me in a space. It puts me in Berlin or Hempstead in London or wherever the fuck it is kind of vibe that this album's trying to give. I love the album cover. Station to Station, the song alone is enough to put this in a top 500 or 250 album of all time. But David Bowie is another artist whose highs are really high, but his less highs and his mids and his lows don't connect with me. I don't have the patience for David Bowie like some other people do. And Bowie is just not a guy that, again, he's like The Cure, he's like Radiohead, he's like brand new. He's one of these artists that like I missed the boat on. I jumped kind of over their head to get to more abstract or obscure or avant-garde kind of places. And when you come back, it's kind of like, yeah, it's a great album, but I probably won't come back to it. But he does accomplish a really unique kind of blend between like the krautrock thing, and the art rock thing, the really spacey kind of almost mechanical production, and then the whole kind of blue-eyed soul thing he's doing. So give David Bowie some credit for that. And again, Station to Station is just, yeah, I mean, that's a timeless song. Okay, so spoiler alert, the next album is, I mean, arguably the greatest album of all time, in my opinion, fucking Laughingstock. We'll get to that when I film or record this again. Right now, I'm going to sign the fuck off because I'm tired and I cannot keep talking about these fucking mid-ass albums that they have on this list. Okay, so I'll see y'all whenever I do this again. All right.